The Zalathi Expedition Commander Vextar stared at the emergency beacon's location on his tactical display, mandibles clicking in disbelief. 3 standard cycles had passed since they'd abandoned the human Marcus Chen on Cathera Prime's deadliest continent, a wilderness where even their advanced hunting parties feared to tread for more than a few hours. "Commander," his tactical officer Zephny reported, her crystalline voice trembling. "The beacon is moving. It's heading directly toward our base camp." Vextar's 4 eyes narrowed. The human should have been dead within hours. Cathera Prime's wilderness was home to the galaxy's most vicious predators, razor wolves with titanium claws, acid-spitting thornbeasts, and worst of all, the massive dire cats whose roar could shatter reinforced glass from a kilometer away. The Zalathi had lost 3 full squads to those creatures during their initial survey. They had left Chen behind during the emergency evacuation, when thornbeasts had overrun their research outpost. The human had volunteered to hold the rear guard, buying precious minutes for the alien crew to escape. It was meant to be a heroic sacrifice, a final gesture before the inevitable. "How far out is he?" Vextar asked, his confidence wavering. 17 kilometers and closing steadily. "Commander, there's something else." Zephny's skin shifted to a pale blue, the Zalathi equivalent of cold sweat. "Our thermal scanners are detecting multiple large heat signatures moving with him. Very large." The command center fell silent except for the soft hum of life support systems. Every member of the Zalathi crew understood the implications. Nothing on Cathera Prime moved in coordinated groups except the apex predators, and they only coordinated to hunt. Vextar activated the perimeter defense grid. "All units to battle stations. Prepare for siege protocols." But as the hours passed and the beacon drew closer, no attack came. Instead, the camp's external audio sensors began picking up something that chilled the aliens to their cores: human singing. A low rhythmic melody echoed across the purple-leafed forest, accompanied by what sounded like harmonizing growls. When Marcus Chen finally emerged from the tree line, the sight that greeted the Zalathi defied every law of nature they understood. The human walked casually down the main approach, his clothes torn but his stride confident. Behind him, like some impossible honor guard, padded 6 of Cathera Prime's most feared predators. 2 massive dire cats flanked him, their obsidian fur gleaming in the alien sun's light. Their usual predatory snarls had been replaced by what could only be described as contentment. Ears forward, tails swishing lazily. A pack of 4 razor wolves trotted alongside them, their metal claws clicking rhythmically against the rocky ground in what almost resembled a marching cadence. Most impossibly of all, a thorn beast, a creature the size of an earth rhinoceros with acid sacs that could melt through starship hulls, brought up the rear. Its usual aggressive posture had given way to something almost protective. Marcus stopped just outside the defense perimeter and waved cheerfully at the frozen Zalathi. "Hey there, miss me?" Vextar's translator struggled with the human's casual tone. After several moments of stunned silence, he managed to activate the external communicators. "Chen, how are you? What are those creatures doing?" Marcus glanced back at his companions with obvious affection. "Oh, these guys. We had a bit of a misunderstanding at first. They thought I was prey. I thought they were trying to eat me. Turns out we were both right." He laughed, a sound that made the dire cat's ears perk up. "But then we figured out something better." "Better?" Zephny whispered, her translator barely functioning. "Cooperation," Marcus replied, scratching behind one of the dire cat's ears. The massive predator leaned into the touch like an oversized house cat. "See, these beauties are apex predators, but even apex predators have problems. Territory disputes, food shortages, injured pack members. They needed a mediator, a strategist." He gestured to himself with mock humility. "And I needed allies who knew the terrain and could hunt. Turns out when you treat predators as equals instead of monsters, they're surprisingly reasonable. We've had quite the adventure together." Marcus reached into his torn backpack and pulled out detailed sketches of plant life and geological formations. "Oh, and I completed the botanical survey you guys abandoned. Turns out there are some fascinating symbiotic relationships in the deep forest that your scans missed." Vextar felt his worldview crumbling. In 3 days, this human had not only survived the galaxy's most dangerous wilderness, he had befriended its deadliest inhabitants and completed their scientific mission. "This is impossible." "That's what I love about you, Zalathi," Marcus grinned. walking past the deactivated defense grid as his predator friends spread out to explore the camp. You think in terms of impossible and possible. Humans prefer to think in terms of not yet and hold my beer. One of the razor wolves had discovered the Zelathi's food storage and was sniffing curiously at the sealed containers. Marcus snapped his fingers. "Saber, leave that alone. We brought our own dinner." The wolf immediately backed away, tail wagging. "You named them?" Zephany asked faintly. "Of course. That's Saber. This big girl is Midnight." He indicated the dire cats. "That's her mate Shadow. The wolf pack is Alpha. Beta, Gamma, and Delta, I know, not very creative, but they seem to like the names, and the big guy back there is Spike." The thorn beast, apparently recognizing its name, made a low rumbling sound that vibrated through the ground. "Now," Marcus continued, settling down on a supply crate while his predator friends arranged themselves around him like living furniture. "Who wants to hear about the really interesting stuff we found in the deep caves? Because there's definitely something down there that your initial surveys missed. Something big." Vextar looked around at his crew, all of whom were staring in various states of shock and awe. In his 40 years of xenobiological research, he had never encountered anything quite like this human's ability to adapt, survive, and somehow thrive in the most hostile environments. "Chen," he said finally, "how did you do this?" Marcus smiled, absently stroking Midnight's massive head. "Same way humans do everything else, Commander. We make friends, we adapt, and we never ever give up. Besides," he added with a wink, "someone had to teach these guys proper pack hunting techniques. You'd be amazed how much more efficient they are now." In the distance, the alien sun began to set over Cathera Prime, casting long shadows across a wilderness that would never again seem quite as threatening to the Zelathi expedition. After all, it was hard to fear a place where the apex predators followed a human around like loyal pets. As the evening progressed and Marcus regaled them with tales of his wilderness adventure, Vexitar made a mental note to update the expedition handbook. New rule: never leave the human behind. Apparently they just made friends with whatever was trying to kill them and came back stronger. It was, he reflected, the most terrifyingly impressive thing he had ever witnessed.